validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. Hard Friday, I gotta tell you. So, sheesh, it's Thursday. Look, I can tell you. That goes to show you how hard my day was. Oh my goodness. The stress was real. But it's the end of another day, so it's the beginning of another show. Typically we're supposed to start about 50 minutes ago, but we don't let the sun rise without going live, so we start late before we don't start at all. So remember that if you ever come and looking for the show, you just hang around. We're going to pop up eventually every night of the week. Different topic every night of the week. Today we're going to be talking about super successful couples and the things that we can do to make those couples tick and achieve the same type of relationship. Then there is a couple of other shows that I've booked for the rest of the week. We're going to be talking about those towards the end of the show. I still got to put up Sunday's question and comments episode. We still got Monday up there talking about the habeas corpus and how that's going to negatively impact the rest of us once they get rid of all the foreigners. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I actually got a new product in. I have to talk to the manufacturer of the product. It is a cryptocurrency book where it's like a comic that tells you how to set up your cryptocurrency account and invest in cryptocurrency. I thought it was pretty cool because even if you are an adult and you grew up in the comic era and you like comics, you can learn how to do things with these nifty books. Or if you're trying to teach your children how to save and invest, these books can help you educate your children on finance in a unique way. So I was going to be putting some shows together and talk to you guys about it, but I want to contact the developer and get the link to the product so that I can show you guys the product and then give you the link so that you can go and get it and do what you got to do with it. So in the meantime, Vino Kato is supposed to be fixing the YouTube, the PayPal thing. So if you guys were trying to get that Vino Canto wine, it's probably why you were unsuccessful, because the purchase option was not working for us. But as it progresses, they will let us know about the link being there. And then once they get it working, then we'll grab us some Vino Canto and then we'll start making it do what it do. So I've been cooking with rosé, so we'll figure it out along the way. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe as you come through. Mash those reaction buttons as you see fit. That will give you guys the opportunity to help promote the podcast on the free ski. I really appreciate that. Special shout out to Bayside, Ruderus, Mr. Satellite, Max Opposer, Joe, Reese Martinez, Joe Hernandez, Nikki, Nico, 2 different people, and Danny Steffen and Red Void. I see you guys is watching us on TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. So Twitter, it's an interactive podcast. So you guys that's on the X platform, you guys can comment, because if you do, your comments will, if they are appropriate, end up on the screen like you see here. Same thing for you guys that are watching us from Twitch. Your comments will also be here. Once we get the stream key from TikTok, you'll see their comments up there, the way you're going to see a lot of the YouTube comments up there. So if you want to be interactive, you can also click those links that you see in your comment section. And if you approve the mic, approve the camera, it'll bring you onto my green room. I can see you sitting there, make sure you're over the age of 18, and then bring you up onto the screen. As long as you're reasonably appropriately attired and your comments are reasonably appropriate. It is an adult channel, but we will be educating everyone about everything. So it is a good way to learn some things, because just like we were talking about the rotation method that we're going to be using for the investment platforms, which I have effectively been doing. So I didn't just talk to you guys about it. I actually started doing it. Now, the difference between what I recommended and what I'm doing is that every month I'm adding more to it. So I'm not just taking one stack of cash and moving it around. As that stack of cash gets bigger, I'm moving that larger sum around. So we're going to be making money, make money for us. And over the periods, I'll be able to let you know how much more successful I was as I increase my installments. So this time around, we're moving around about $500 plus the dividends that we got from last month. And then next month, depending on how much I add to it, we're going to be moving around the original principal plus whatever is added to it, and so forth and so forth. So it's going to be a very interesting situation for us. But the positive side to the fact is that we're going to be making money, make money for us. And it's going to be less difficult to move the money around and catch X dividend dates than it is to get to work on time and do a bunch of manual labor. So we're going to be enjoying that. Now, today we're supposed to be talking about ways that we can make our relationships more successful, like those successful couples that we see. So let's kick things off with a question. Have you ever looked at a couple and thought, how do they make it look so easy? If you have, you're not alone. Throw a question mark in the comment section. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on what makes super successful couples really tick, and how you can bring some of that magic into your own relationships. So we're going to be making this interactive. So if you're listening live, I want to make sure that you guys drop yeses in the comments section so that we can start talking to you guys. Make sure that your keyboard is working, and we're going to start getting in and getting started. And then if you end up watching this after the show, because the post live is always here, you can always throw up a thanks right about now for any information you came back to get. I greatly appreciate it. And you will get a response back for that. If you ever face a challenge, that's my man. See, y'all, I told y'all, special shout out, Mr. Satellite. Okay, bro. So about your background, your Titantron. Hold on a second, because you said hook you up. I got something real quick, but I want to do something better than that.
Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground.
So I got that. I was sitting over here like, man, I want to get one that has like satellites moving around. It says Mr. Satellite like popping out and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna get you. You told me to get you a Titantron. You like, well, if you hit me with a Titantron, I give you $50. I'm like, I'm gonna figure something out, bro. There's something that was an intro for you out of nowhere. Everybody else is like, wait, what? He went back to the nah. And then I broke it down. So I got another one up there. So if Bayside jump in, I'm gonna hit him with one of these too. So y'all gonna be able to see some of what we got going on, because I be doing, but I'm gonna try to piece together something. I keep saying that I look like I got less time, and then I be dealing with some family emergencies, and then I step away from the podcast. But if I do not get bogged down, more than likely tonight after the show, I should first do yours, because yours is going to be easier than Fit Chef. Then I gotta complete some projects for some of my clients, and then I've got to try to put together that Fit Chef video and get that Fit Chef video up within the next week or so. This is why I told you guys I'm doing like one video a month for Fit Chef right now, and once I start getting the swing of all the editing, because it's like different segments, then I got to piece it all together. It's not like using Opus Clip where you can just throw everything and then it'll just collaborate it for you. So I'm trying to like do all the editing myself, and then have day-to-day experiences in a lot of places. So in real time, that is stressful. So but I appreciate that. He said 1,000 over 10 intro. I love that. You know, but as y'all seen, just like Mr. Satellite did, if you jump into the comment section, definitely interactive for you guys. I do throw you guys down a little bit of a at least for the regulars, y'all gonna get y'all some video style. But for those of you that jump in for the first time, you know, we got us a little bit of a song to come up every now and again for y'all, so that y'all can kind of feel a little bit of like that WrestleMania vibe when you first walk down into the channel and jump onto the comment section and start throwing down into the conversation. You know, I figured it'd make it a little bit more interesting, because I know that while there's a lot of podcasts out there, talkers and stuff like that, there's not many of them that are really interactive about like a true to the magnitude self-improvement kind of situation on both finance and personal relationships at the same time. They typically find a niche and stick with it, but I found that they're two halves of the same whole. So you need better finance in order to have a better personal life, and you need a better personal life in order to have a better finance. So let's get back into it, so that you can start working on that better personal life. Uh, if you guys have been challenged, whether it's communication, trust, or just finding time for each other, I definitely want to hear you guys in the comment section telling me some yep, yes, or true that, something to that effect. Uh, and I definitely, like I seen Satellite diving in already, I want to see the rest of you guys come in and make it do what it do. Now, we all know relationships aren't always smooth sailing. It's always going to be some rocky road. So when I tell you guys that there are certain situations that happen too early in the relationship, it's a cut and run. But you also have to understand that if the exact same scenario would have happened in a 5 or 10 year relationship, might be more inclined, because you're extremely invested in the relationship, to at least give it one more chance. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, today I got the smoothie. So remember I told you guys at Fit Chef had the smoothie, and they had a smoothie recipe, probably the only recipe I've used off of the thing that is less than 20 minutes. The other one I was like cooking for 2 hours, but as y'all seen the big behind plates that I had, it that same $170, well, plus the bananas and strawberries for the smoothie, so $190 that I have spent on groceries for the past month. And I still got the groceries in here. I'm thawing out the second pack of chicken so that I can go in there and start working on the quesadillas for this upcoming week. Hopefully, after I post a video for the enchiladas, I'll be able to start the recording the videos for the quesadillas. So there's a lot of stuff on that thing, almost 1,000 recipes. And I definitely want to see what they've got coming up in the upcoming weeks, because I'm tagging them as I come across them, like, yep, that's good. So speaking of, I had made the smoothie real quick, and I'm gonna get back to the main topic. I always do, because on this and that we talk about this, that, and everything in between. But I had made the smoothie and didn't even really follow the recipe. I just grabbed the ingredients, because you know how when you like a homemade chef, like you want to get up there and do your own thing, went out there and grabbed it. So let me tell you how I grabbed the yogurt. I grabbed the French vanilla yogurt. Then I grabbed the bananas. I used 2 bananas, and then I used a basket of strawberries, right? Like a basket of strawberries. Threw it into the blender, started mixing up. Boy, I tell you what, this replaced the meal like a Slim Fast so fast. I was like, wow. So if I wanted to, and I had to put the blender to work today, but if I had wanted to make me a quick substitute to a midday breakfast, like you're waking up late and you're trying to get up and get out, and you had one of those blended up in the fridge already from last night kind of thing, you could grab it with your to-go cup or whatever and drink that on the way out, and it'll keep you full until you can get you some lunch. And the bananas and the strawberries were very cheap, so it's like a couple dollars for that drink, and it will replace a meal, and it has a lot of nutrients and stuff in there. So I was like, okay, they doing it. Now the yogurt was a couple dollars too, so it's probably overall with tax is probably like $5 for. But this is my second cup though, in this 36-ounce cup. So $5 for like 60 ounces of drink. I mean, that's you ain't gonna find it that cheap at most fast food restaurants. So make sure that you guys. I'm gonna have to start getting that Fit Chef link and throwing it into the comment section, so that when I start talking to y'all about Fit Chef, y'all can get that link off of the thing, so that y'all can be like, oh, y'all, that'll do it. Because Bayside's using it right now, and I know that when he jump on, I'm gonna talk about this one more again. So I just want y'all to know that. So, but I think that it's fantastic. But back to the main topic. If you guys have had one of those moments where you feel misunderstood, or trust gets shaky, or life just gets so busy that your relationship starts to feel like another item on the to-do list. If this sounds familiar, give me a quick me with the exclamation point. I want to just know that you guys in there then felt some of these situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've been there before plenty of times. And I believe that a lot of times when you're stressed out about life, and you also stressed out about your relationships, and it's not just your romantic relationships, you find this with long-term friendships, you find this with family members, because when you develop a certain level of bond with each other, you not only have higher level of expectations of performance from your partner, you have lower levels of respect for them as well, believe it or not, specifically because you've seen them at their weakest, you've seen them when they've made their mistakes. The admiration is not there anymore because you've seen them fuck up life. So you're not going to look up to them and be like, oh, they did good. You're going to look at, oh, you could have done better. Now, that does follow with a little bit of love because you want to push them to be better. But the difference between when you falsely say you did good versus you really meant it that they did good, and then you follow that up with the other alternative, where somebody who knows that you did a good job, but instead they tell you could have done better because they want to motivate you to do better. Those three levels of admiration are also three declining levels of actual respect from the person being told that. So you're gonna experience these differences as time goes on, but that also lets you understand where your relationship is, because when you can tell them the truth, you care more about them than when you tell them a lie. That's the thing. But here's the thing, though. Here's another thing, since I've already talked about a thing. Couples who really thrive, they aren't just lucky. It's not a roll of the dice. It didn't just happen. They've built powerful habits. So let's play a quick game. What do you think is the number one habit of successful couples? Is it communication, shared goals, or respect? If you think you know, make sure you type your answer in the comment section. I want to see what you guys tell me. Now, for anyone who's typing communication, you nailed it, because communication is huge. These couples make time to really listen. They set goals together and they respect each other's differences. They're not perfect, but they're on the same team. And that makes all the difference. Now, let's talk about emotional support. I've talked about this on the show quite a few times. And I want you to imagine, how would your relationship change if you felt truly seen and heard every single day? When partners lift each other up, they can weather any storm, whether it's a tough day at work or a major life change. That's the power of being each other's rock. And let's not forget the teamwork, though. But quick poll, though. Who here has a relationship that is a chore? Secretly wishing their partner would just take over. Do you have a relationship chore, or a relationship that feels like a chore, and you secretly wish that your partner would take it over? No judgment. Just share your answers. Because I know I can tell you there's a bunch of people that I've affiliated with where I just wish that they would get up and get some extra stuff done. I just know that there's a lot of times where I just wish that I didn't feel like I was the only one carrying the weight. And I know that if you feel the same way in your relationship, then you should be commenting in the comment section right now. But when you work together, you can accomplish so much more and potentially have fun doing it. But switching gears for a second, let's talk dating. Who here has ever felt those pre-date jitters? Heart racing, palm sweaty. Wait, we about to drop drop that Eminem beat. Knees weak. You know, hoping you don't say something weird. I know we've all been there. You had everything in your mind that you said that you thought that you was going to say. And then when you got in the moment and you got ready to say it, you froze. I can tell you I've been there. There's situations where, ironically, you can show up with all the anger and hatred festering inside of you and overcome the most fear and anguish that you encounter, would not even remember that you have anxiety towards a scenario. But when you approach a situation with fear, concern, or doubt, you come to find out that you're overwhelmed by anxiety a whole lot faster. And it is my experience that if you gotta get yourself a little bit pissed off to get in there and get it done right, you know, that don't mean lash out at the other person, but like amp yourself up a little bit so that you can go in there. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, it is supposed to be healthy to project fear and project insecurities, and you're not supposed to be ashamed of that. But you are going to have these situations where if you allow fear to take over instead of, you know, a self-reserved ruthless aggression, you'll come to find that you will be overwhelmed by the fear of taking action, overwhelmed by the results, overwhelmed by the environment that you're in, and you will fail. What you wanted to accomplish, you will not accomplish. What you hoped to achieve, you will not achieve. That doesn't mean you should quit, though. You always try again. But one of the biggest hurdles in dating is confidence. And maybe you're wondering, am I good enough? Or maybe you're great online, but in person, the conversation just fizzles. If that's you, give me a virtual high five. Throw me one of them up there. I just want to see when y'all start throwing them comments in here. But here's where it gets fun. What's your go-to conversation starter on a date? You should put that in the chat as well. If you need inspiration, try asking what's the best advice you've ever received, or what's one thing you're passionate about outside of work. These are two good questions that you could ask somebody. I've actually had somebody ask me a very interesting question. What was one of my greatest fears, and how do I get over it? Bro, that's an icebreaker right there. But that's sometimes that might be a little bit too deep. You know what I'm saying? Think about the fact that we're in a society right now where people aren't comfortable with opening up. So you don't know, like, should I ask like a level 10 question, or should I ask like a level 2 question? You want your question to be somewhat profound, but not intrusive. So asking somebody what their biggest fear is just like asking somebody what their greatest weakness is. Not a lot of people are going to feel comfortable with telling you, especially if they have trauma from their past. They might not want you to know what those traumas are so that they don't end up in a situation where they're regretting telling you what their trauma was, if that makes sense. Uh, because some people have encountered, male and female alike, individuals with narcissistic behavior patterns where those individuals will take the stuff that you tell them in secret and use it against you to hurt you, to sabotage you, to destroy your success. So, from the first out the gate, you're not comfortable with answering that initial question, which makes things a bit of a challenge. So, when you're asking a question such as, what's the best advice you've ever received? It's not an intrusive question, but it is a profound or in-depth question. Makes the other person think, and it also aids them with opening up. Another question, like I just said, what's one thing you're passionate about outside of work? Gives me something that you're proud of. And these questions can spark real memorable conversations. Also, don't underestimate the power of body language, eye contact, and a genuine smile. And also make sure that you have an open posture. Now, an open posture is not going to be like this, like all, arms all crossed and stuff like that. That is closed off. An open posture is going to be something like what you see here, with like the arms open wide. Usually the palms are in some way, shape, or form visible in some way when you're communicating with the person, because you want to project a welcoming scenario, right? A lot of people talk with their hands, but by talking with your hands, you end up doing one of these, which kind of aids the listener in not feeling like they are being lectured to. You know what I'm saying? But it's amazing how much confidence you can project just by how you carry yourself, just based on how you carry yourself. So if you're slunched and slouching and hunched over and you're kind of balling yourself up and stuff, you're not going to get the same response. And that bad posture is going to cause you to have bad back pain down the line. But you're not going to have the same image as if you had your shoulders back. Shoulders back means like back behind your ears kind of thing, and chest out kind of thing. And I know some of the girls that's trying to make the B cup look like a D cup know how to throw that chest out. But seriously, for good posture and to have better breathing flow and an improvement in confidence, and you never want to have visibility where your eyes are looking below the waist of the other person. You want your head up enough where your eye contact is basically looking at somebody else's forehead. And why are you looking at somebody else's forehead? Because looking at somebody's forehead is the closest thing to looking them in their eyes without you having to deal with your uncomfortability with staring somebody directly into the eyes. But if they're staring directly into your eyes and you're staring directly at their forehead or staring directly at their nose, you're not making eye contact, but they're making eye contact with you, which makes them feel received and more opened by you, which is going to give you guys a better communication. And it limits the quantity of anxiety that you have. It's not going to make it go away, but it's going to be less stressful if you're not looking directly into their eyes. And here's my favorite dating hack: self-love. And self-love isn't going on a shopping spree, spending a bunch of money on a bunch of stuff that you're never going to enjoy for yourself, that you're either going to resell back to where you got it from or give it to a friend who's going to enjoy it more than you. It's a waste of money. Or worse. You donate it to a Goodwill or a Salvation Army for a tax deduction, and then they sell it for more than what you paid for it. And now your friend is wearing your dress from the Salvation Army when you could have sold your dress to your friend. But when you're comfortable with who you are, your natural attraction will bring people who really appreciate you closer to you. So take a second. What's one thing you love about yourself? You can type that in the comment section, really. Matter of fact, you want to write that on a sticky note and put that on the fridge or something. What is one of the things that you like about yourself? That's something that you want to tolerate or celebrate. But if you didn't think that this stuff actually does work, check this out. Around 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce, with the majority of divorces initiated by women, right? So almost half the men that have been divorced, she left. We knew that was coming. But staying together isn't the same as being happy. Studies suggest only about 10 to 13% of couples maintain high levels of romantic love and satisfaction over the long term. The rest, many couples remain together for reasons like the children, finances, or social pressure, even if affection and intimacy wanes away. You are never supposed to stay in the relationship for the sake of something or someone other than you. If you are not happy and you are not capable of getting yourself to be happy, if you have expressed to your partner why you're unhappy, and your partner has not put in the effort to reduce, if not eliminate, your unhappiness, it's time to go. It's time to go. Because you can't expect change without asking for it. But you also can't expect change without doing something about it. Nevertheless, you will find yourself in positions where no matter how much you try, shit's just not going to work out in your favor. Now, research highlights several pillars that consistently support lasting, healthy partnerships. Authenticity. Both partners feel free to be themselves, no masks, no fear of judgments. Ladies, y'all got to start learning and enforcing this one, the no fear of judgment environment. You create that in your relationship, y'all gonna have less bitching. Your boyfriend should be able to come and tell you how you fucked up, and then y'all start planning about how you fix that. Not him coming to tell you that he fucked up, and then you're gonna curse him out behind it. That doesn't make the situation any better. He already recognizes that he had made some mistakes, and he's sitting over here trying to atone for them. And while he's trying to atone for the mistakes that he made in the past, you over here reaming him because you haven't had your chance to project your dissatisfaction for his decisions. So you're going to project that before you support him. And that's not the thing. You should support him first. Support him first. And if it's still on your mind after you finish supporting that situation to resolve the issue, then you talk about the scenario after y'all are emotionally detached from the scenario. But a strong friendship, such as best friends, underpins romance every day, providing comfort and closeness. And that's one of the reasons why you'll see a lot of ladies that will swim to let's just be friends instead of progress into the long-term intimate relationship, because it is harder to maintain an intimate relationship exclusively to one individual than it is harder to maintain communication with just friends. Using we languages makes joint decisions foster unity and shared identities. Partners support each other's self improvement and encourage new experiences together. So, if you guys are focusing on each other's individual growth as a whole, y'all should be working as a team to get the team to victory. Because using the metaphor of a football team, one of you is going to be the offense, the other one is going to be the defense. And once the offense does his or her job, the defense got to do their job. It's plain and simple. Now, shared power, which is not something that's talked about from alpha men perspectives, shared power is a decision-making and responsibility that is balanced, leading to greater satisfaction and fairness. So not just about fidelity, but knowing your partner has your back in all aspects of life. Now, absent of major issues, sometimes the lack of dark side problems like abuse, chronic jealousy, and disrespect is itself a huge strength. So while y'all don't have something in common, if you don't have abuse weighing you down, chronic jealousy weighing you down, or levels of feeling disrespected weighing you down, you guys have a huge thing going for you. Because that's like some of the biggest issues in a relationship that people don't actually talk about on a regular basis. The magic ratio from Dr. John Gottman research found that couples who maintain a ratio of 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative action or negative interaction is far more likely to stay together and be happy. So if you're dating somebody, for everything you can find fault in them, you need to find 5 times more than that in compliments. In failing relationships, partners often ignore or reject each other's bids for attention, and stable couples respond positively 81% of the time. And self-love and self-awareness is going to be healthy relationships that often start with individuals who know and value themselves. And this will allow them to love without neediness. And so if you're not needy, you won't be doing it with the expectation to receive something in return, where if you don't receive something in return in the immediate, you get jealous, feel offended, and then have a temper tantrum. Now, instead of that, and the ability to set healthy boundaries, you'll come to find out that your relationships are going to end up more successful, swifter. Now, your proactive communication is going to allow successful couples to don't just talk, they ask. So, and if you're asking creative, meaningful questions beyond how was your day, this deepens connections and understandings. So instead of asking simply, how was your day? What did you get into today? What were you doing this week? These are ways where not only is the individual able to reach out and open up to you, you're able to learn something about what they've got going on a day-to-day basis. So say your partner comes home from wherever they're at and they're wet, and you recognize the wetness. You don't have to tell them to bring an extra spare of clothes, but now that you have an extra set of wetness, you can go and grab that and take it and go clean it, and then the person has a clean uniform, which takes the stress off of their plate. Many couples let effort slide after the honeymoon phase, returning to the thoughtful behaviors of your first year together. Surprises, compliments, and intentional dates can reignite intimacy. So let's talk about some of the less discussed but powerful strategies. You want to share your inner world for the first part. Go beyond complaints. Instead of "you made me mad," try "I felt hurt when this happened, and where's why." This shifts of blame and invites empathy from the other person. So instead of you saying "you did this and you did this, you did that," you're saying that something went wrong and we need to fix it, which prevents you from doing it on your own. You want to take mental vacations together. I was thinking about taking a mental vacation today. You want to set aside daily time, even just 10 minutes, to be fully present with each other. No phones, nothing. And no distractions, right? Now, this habit can dramatically provide connections and reduce resentment, but you got to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. You might pick them up on the street and then you find out that they're a smoker or an average drinker. You got to be careful what you're getting. But you have to become an expert on your partner in order for you to guesstimate their assumptions. Learn what they truly have exciting them, the things that provide them with comfort, or the things that inspire your partner. Ask about their dreams, fears, and quirks regularly, not just during crisis. Don't avoid red flags ever. That's the first time of failure. Address uncomfortable issues early. Avoid tough conversations early, and only let problems fester. So you don't want to let those problems fester. That's the goal. Get creative with quality, and you're going to be getting creative using quality time as well. Now, breakthroughs with new activities, even on a budget, novelty boosts dopamine and rekindles attractions, which is going to be like having those two candles on the floor with the bed sheets laid down there and having you like a bowl with some strawberries and a little battery power chocolate fountain that's going to break down after two strawberries so that you can be like, "Hun, the shake machine is broken." So talk about your sexual desires openly with your partner before getting romantically involved. Never skip conversations about sexual health, preferences, and boundaries. Some of y'all fellas want to get these ladies to give y'all this information in writing. That way it doesn't bite you in the butt later. But you want to comfort with these topics is linked to higher satisfaction and trust. Don't wait for years to talk about life goals, values, and deal breakers. Early alignment prevents heartbreak later on. And you want to own your triggers. When conflicts arises, reflect on your own emotional history, making sure that you're not acting out of sorts. And then you want to communicate that. Understanding your own pain points to the prevention of misplaced blame and even more deepened intimacy. Oh, I thought this was going to be a short to do. It is longer than I thought. Couples who regularly express gratitude for one another are significantly more satisfied and resilient during tough times. Novelty and new experiences together are scientifically shown to regenerate passion and closes even in long-term relationships. So only about 1 in 8 couples report being very happy, and in love after many years together. And while the odds may seem daunting, cultivating authentically protective communication with mutual respect and a willingness to grow both as individuals and as a couple, that can dramatically increase your chances of building a trustful sexual relationship. So sometimes, in a small, consistent, and often unspoken efforts that mark the biggest difference. So let's recap together. We're still going to use conversation starters that go beyond the basics. We're going to start being aware of body language and make that first impression count. And most importantly, practice self-love and acceptance. So which one of these are going to try to get you some? Or do you have a trip that works for you? Let's get that conversation going. Because if you ever enjoyed these tips, don't forget that you guys need to subscribe. Remember that we're coming every night of the week, like you've seen Mr. Satellite dropped it. Drop your comments in as well. If you're currently on Twitch, you can like us on Twitch. It doesn't matter. It's all going to take you to the same place. And we definitely want you guys to check out some of the other shows that we got coming up in the next couple of days. We're going to be talking about signs that your dater is cheating. And then you're also going to be looking at whether or not you're finding a keeper, and then relationships that will strengthen your bonds and be signed off. That's what we're looking for. So you tell me, what do you think is the secret to any truly successful relationship? What we want to hear, and definitely be able to share your thoughts. Now, I want to thank you guys for tiptoeing over, because tomorrow we're going to be talking about one of those situations that I just mentioned about us making more money in a more effective tone. So I want you guys to keep building those strong, long-lasting connections together. And here's the one question that I didn't get a chance to ask you yet is, if you don't have enough resources to go around, who is expected to cover the loss of resources? That's a mission that you guys could take home with you. Because you got a lot of people like, oh, she could do the guard work. Well, she probably could, but is she like deserving of it? See what I'm saying? Be that as it may, any extra comments that you guys put in the comment section during the outro is going to be shown up on the screen. So continue the conversation and add some substantiating comments into the comment section. Outside of that, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, I really appreciate those of you that's still here watching the podcast. Probably got about 80 of y'all up here that's rotating in and out, in addition to the others. So, greatly appreciate what you got going on. And we'll see y'all, some of y'all, tomorrow night. See, I didn't hit the button.
Higher ground! My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.